It's the NFL's greatest season ever on home video. We've taken the best of the best to bring you NFL football that'll grab your gut and cling to your memory. It's like the greatest to the third power. 3 volumes of NFL's greatest ever videos packed in one full-strength gift set. The plays, the players, and the game. This collection, hosted by Steve Zabel, offers the greatest catches, throws, tackles, players, performances, and much more. How much greatness can you handle? Team, nice concept, in life and on the field. The ones you stick by. Here are all the moments you most want to remember from the '94 season. 28 NFL teams, 28 NFL team videos, plus 2 expansion teams.
Hi there.
We're all a little nosy. Football's a vocal game. And we don't mean play-by-play commentary. And just what is it that the players are shouting at each other?
Hey, baby! We're gonna be here all day, baby!
Intimidation can be more than physical. Words push their weight around, on and off the field. We've grabbed the choicest sound bites so you can experience football as you've never heard it before. In NFL Turf Talk, the 100 greatest sound bites of the NFL.
This isn't college. You're not at a home coverage.
I understand.
This is NFL, which stands for not for long when you make them calls.
Yeah.
I'll be selling groceries.
This is 50 minutes of impact, the pure muscle of the game. Schwarzenegger saving the universe. Hey, you tackle problems every day. It feels good to watch someone else do the impossible for a change. It's NFL's 100 greatest tackles. This is going to be the high point of the season. Nothing comes near it, and you'll want to see it again. Superheroes, Superpower. Coming in February on video, Super Bowl 30. You know when good just doesn't come near it, and great is only halfway there. We're talking the greatest. Be sure to own the greatest season ever on home video from Polygram Video and NFL Films.
Well, on behalf of the Seattle Seahawks ownership and the rest of the organization, I'm very pleased and excited today to announce that Dennis Erickson will become the next head football coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Coach Erickson is a man who has been extremely committed to coaching and to winning his entire life. He's won at every level that he's coached at, and we expect this trend and trait to continue with the Seattle Seahawks.
Our goal is to win, to get better, to be successful. No timetable on a lot of things, but you know how competitive I am. We want to get in the playoffs as soon as we can. Eventually, we would like to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, all those are things that every franchise wants, and we're going to work like heck to get that done.
With these words, native son Dennis Erickson left the University of Miami and returned home. Erickson, a native of Everett, Washington, won 2 national championships in his first 3 years at Miami. He adds to a bright future for a team that already has a proud past.
Football League, first game out of the barrel. Let's set the tempo for the whole year, baby. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Ho!
And in motion is Ellard. Freeze looks right, fires. Intercepted by Terry Wood, and he could be gone.
The team that Dennis Erickson inherits is not in need of a major retooling job. In fact, the Seahawks are not far from becoming contenders, as was proven by their fast start in 1994. Seattle used more traditional blocking schemes to run over the Redskins on opening day. Relying on what would become the foundation of their attack, the Seahawks racked up nearly 200 yards rushing, and Chris Warren had the first of a team record 7 100-yard days. Two touchdowns by Warren and a TD pass from Rick Meyer to Brian Blades wrapped up a 28-7 victory. Meyer had his first big day of the season the next week against the arch-rival Raiders, when he completed 19 of 25 with 3 touchdown passes.
Meyer, good protection, pump fake, fires the home run ball down there, got Bays. leads. He's got it. Touchdown, Seahawks.
With the running game taking a backseat to the passing game, Warren did not get to the century mark, but he brought his season touchdown total to 4 6-pointers in 2 games, scoring once on the ground and once through the air.
Screens it to Warren at the 40, 35, 30, gets a block, 25, breaks away, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
In a total team effort, the Seahawks defense did not allow a touchdown. The Seahawks were 2-0 after their laugher over the Raiders. Home, however, was not quite home sweet home. Due to construction problems at the Kingdome, the University of Washington graciously allowed the Seahawks to play several games at Husky Stadium. But following a loss to the AFC champion Chargers, Seattle came back strong and crushed AFC finalist Pittsburgh. Once again, the Seahawks offense was a beautiful blend of passing and running. Chris Warren picked up 126 yards on the ground and scored his 5th touchdown of the year. With a Myers scoring toss to Trey Junkin, Seattle had 30 points and was averaging nearly 27 points a game. The defense was playing just as tough. Included in the defensive day's work was a goal line stand that featured 4 stops from inside the 5-yard line and a touchdown by rookie cornerback Orlando Waters. In their 3-1 start, the defense had allowed just 4 TDs. The following week, they had their game faces on again.
Like it. Get it down.
I should have started up on the other side of the field, and then came on the inside. I'm going to trick him next time.
All I need is just a little push. Who in there with you, Sam? If we get just a little push in the middle, you can't step up. I'm getting around the corner, and he's stepping up.
What do you want to do there? He should call a max spy, let you go, and then me and Black will take the back.
I'm in the zone every time. I'm in the zone.
Unfortunately, the offense was not. The Seattle Seahawks are the youngest team in the NFL, and as sometimes happens, a narrow loss in a winnable game hurts for a long time. The 2-point loss to the Colts had just such an effect, for to a man, from owner Ken Behring and president David Behring through every member of the team, the Seahawks felt they should have beaten Indianapolis. Ultimately, a combination of youthful mistakes, missed opportunities, and an injury epidemic that cost Seahawks players 213 games threatened to lay waste to the Seahawks' promising start. Seattle's early season sublime sink was sunk. The Seahawks gave up only 1 touchdown to the Broncos, but lost because they could score just 7 points of their own. The next week, the Seahawks scored 23 points, including the first 2-point conversion in team history, but gave up 38 to the Chiefs. Against the Chargers, nothing went right. The Seahawks did not allow a touchdown again against the Bengals, but lost by 3 points in overtime to a safety and 6 field goals. In Week 11, Seattle lost by a touchdown or less for the 4th time during a 6-game losing streak. But rather than being run out of town, this young team learned what it takes to win tight games and would prove it with a stretch run later in the year. The individual units that make up a good team are there in Seattle. Special teams have been a Seahawks strength throughout the team's existence. In 1994, All-Pro punter Rick Tootin regularly drove return men inside the 20-yard line, where bomb squatters like special teams captain Tracy Johnson, Dean Wells, Michael Bates, and Terrence Warren made certain they stayed. Tootin had at least 1 kick inside the 20-yard line in every game but 1, and set a team record with 33 punts inside the 20. When the Seahawks weren't pinning difficult field position on opponents, they were pinning opponents' return men, period. Traditionally, special teams are where young players earn their stripes, and the Seahawks had 12 eager rookies on the squad. But learning the intricate ballet-like footwork of the offensive line usually takes more time. In one case, however, a precocious rookie named Kevin Mawai was a quick enough study to make the all-rookie team at guard. Mawai, the team's #2 draft choice, was an important cog in the strongest element of the team, the running game, as escorted by an excellent offensive line. Offensive captain center Ray Donaldson became just the 9th player in NFL history to start in 200 straight games. Right tackle Howard Ballard played in 4 Super Bowls as a bellwether with the Bills. Early in the year, Bill Hitchcock handled right guard and gave Mawai time to learn, teaming with Donaldson and Ballard to create room on the right flank. On the left side, Seahawks ball carriers were provided safe passage thanks to guard Jeff Blackshear, number 69, and tackle Ray Roberts, number 73. Mix in the blocking of tight ends Farrell Edmonds and Paul Green, and fullbacks Tracy Johnson and Steve Smith, number 35. And the recipe bakes up into the second-best rushing attack in the NFL, averaging over 130 yards a game. The most obvious beneficiary was running back Chris Warren, who led the AFC in rushing and set a team record with 1,545 yards. All of the Seattle fullbacks are versatile, either blocking or catching passes with equal aplomb. With Smith, Tracy Johnson, number 43, or Max Strong, number 38 at fullback, the Seahawks are one of only 3 teams to have improved their running game in each of the last 3 years. When second-year quarterback Rick Mirer showed play action, defenses had to respect the play fake, giving Mirer more time to find open receivers. The result was that Mirer threw just 7 interceptions in 381 attempts to tie for the lowest interception rate in the league. He can play the classic drop-back role or the nimble escape artist with an uncanny ability to complete passes while being on the lam. Mirer knows when to throw and when to run, for he's not just a great athlete turned quarterback, always thinking run before pass. Rick Mirer is a quarterback through and through, with all the skills needed to excel in the NFL. He has enough arm to explore the middle of his own, finding tight end Paul Green 30 times, and enough touch to drop a pass into the hands of Brian Blades, catching him dead in stride. Mirer doesn't panic, and why should he? He has in Brian Blades one of the best pass catchers in the league. In 1994, only 2 AFC wide receivers caught more passes than Blades. In 1994, Blades broke his own team record with 81 receptions and had the 3rd 1,000-yard season of his career. He did it by playing the game the only way he knows how to play it, full out. Blades now ranks 3rd in team history in receptions and touchdowns, and 2nd in yards and 100-yard games. The player ahead of him was on hand to hand-deliver the 1994 Steve Largent Award, presented to the Seahawks player that best exemplifies the spirit, dedication, and integrity of the Seattle Seahawks. Brian Blades was not the only member of the Seahawk family to enjoy a banner year. Another was former Seahawk great Steve Largent, who was elected to both the U.S. Congress and the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God. You are a member of the 103rd Congress.
It's a pleasure and a privilege to tell you officially that you have been selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This is your first year of eligibility, and obviously, Steve, all the people who are here and all the football world congratulate you at this moment.
It goes without saying that this is a tremendous honor, and my head's spinning right now, and thank you, and you know, I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I had to play and participate in the National Football League. One of the things that I always strive to be is the consummate team player, and recognize that the whole is much bigger than the sum of its parts. And so this honor definitely is an honor that I share with all those people that have contributed to my life and to my football career.
Steve Largent, one of the most popular players ever to wear a Seahawks uniform, was the first player ever inducted into the Ring of Honor, a tribute that in 1994 was accorded to running back Kurt Warner, who became the fifth man to be so honored. A first-round draft choice from Penn State, Warner played for Seattle for 7 seasons. When he left the Seahawks, he held virtually every team rushing record in the books. But far better than by numbers, he will be remembered for the excitement everyone in the Kingdom felt whenever he touched the ball. The same excitement they felt when Kurt Warner had his name entered into the Seattle Seahawks Ring of Honor.
Thank you very much for such a warm reception. I'll tell you, this place brings back a lot of good memories for me. A lot of good memories. I'll tell you, it's good to be back, and I'm just very thankful to have so many people involved, because the things that I've accomplished, I can't take full credit for it. I had a wonderful supporting cast, a lot of great football players that I had an opportunity to play with, and I'd like to share this honor with them. I'd like to also thank the Seahawks organization for inviting me to be a part of the Ring of Honor. I consider it to be a privilege and an honor, and I am deeply humbled. I'll tell you, I don't think there's a better place to play in the world than this kingdom, and I want to thank you for that. And lastly, I'd just like to say thank you again, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Another element of the Seahawks' proud past is Vice President of Football Operations Chuck Allen, who is retiring after being with the Seahawks during all of their 20-year existence. Allen saw the growth of the Seahawks organization from its infancy and has been part of the American Football Conference since the days when it was known as the AFL. As a rookie in 1961, number 50 was named to the All-AFL team. Chuck Allen will be missed. The Seahawks' defensive line combines the youth of #1 draft pick Sam Adams with the experience of Joe Nash, still a force after 13 seasons of seasoning in Seattle. Sam Adams from Texas A&M showed why he was the 8th player selected in the college draft. But the key players on any unit are young veterans who combine enthusiasm and experience to reach the top of their game. Such a player is Cortez Kennedy, who in his 5th year has become a perennial All-Pro. Reunited with his old college coach, there's no telling how good he can be. Kennedy is capable of dismantling an offense all by himself, leaving the pieces for other defensive linemen like Brent Williams, number 93. Williams, a 9-year veteran, Michael Sinclair, number 70, just in his 4th season, and Antonio Edwards, number 67, a second-year pro, give the Seahawks a perfect blend of want-to and know-how at the defensive end position.
Starting at linebacker, number 90 from Syracuse University, Terry Wooden.
Young veterans abounded at linebacker, where Rod Stevens, number 94, completed his 6th season, and Bob Spitulski, number 58, finished his 3rd. Rufus Porter, number 97, played 7 seasons for Seattle since making it as a free agent. Porter, one of the most respected outside pass rushers in the league, could make plays on either end of the line. But no one covers more ground than number 90, Terry Wooden. In 1994, Terry Wooden averaged almost 1 play a game on which he trapped an opponent for a loss. Wooden's 5th year in the NFL was his finest, as he had 4 straight games with at least 12 tackles, was 1 tackle away from leading the team in that category, and tied for team leadership in interceptions. The Seattle linebacking core helped the secondary defense the pass and was a big part of shutting down the run. In turn, they were supported by the secondary. Number 21, Raphael Robinson, could stop a runner with a perfect form tackle or pick a receiver's pocket. Robinson, a 3rd-year safety, and Carlton Gray, number 26, who completed just his 2nd season, should give the Seahawks many years of solid play in the secondary. Robert Blackman, number 25, a 2nd-round draft choice in 1990, finished his 4th season as a starter, and is another young veteran who is reaching his full power as a player. 2 players provided heavy doses of experience in the secondary. After 9 years in the NFL, Patrick Hunter, number 27, had enough savvy not to be sorry. The leader in the secondary is safety Eugene Robinson, number 41.
Man, we got to keep talking. That's what we'll eliminate lots of. We just keep talking, we'll eliminate a lot of junk.
Robinson is virtually a coach on the field. The Seahawks defensive captain, who played in 120 consecutive games, continues to make big plays in many of them. The Seattle defense is another unit with the right mix of fresh faces, old hands, and players at their peak. With 5 weeks left in the season, every segment of the Seahawks was primed to get back into the race. With victories in their final 5 games, the Seahawks could still finish the season with a winning record.
1, 2, 3, halt! Meyer play fakes, looks down the middle, fires to Warren, touchdown, Seahawks.
But with less than 3.5 minutes left, Seattle trailed by 6 and was 77 yards away from the go-ahead score.
Let's go, Go through him, baby.
Come on out, let's go, baby!
Come on, baby.
Move those chains! Yeah, baby!
One more time now. One more time, Hawk.
Meyer, who turns and pitches to Strong around the right side to the 10, Strong to the 5, touchdown, Max Strong! 42 seconds left to go in the game, and the Seahawks have made their comeback.
The Seahawks faced another gut check the following week against the Chiefs. In a defensive struggle, 2 Kansas City field goals gave the Chiefs the lead before Meyer stood strong in the face of a fearsome pass rush and rallied Seattle with another fourth-quarter drive.
Smith and Johnson the setbacks. Give to Smith. Touchdown, Seahawks. Steve Smith. And big hole, too. Good block up front by his offensive line.
When the Chiefs reclaimed the lead with a third field goal, the Seahawks came back yet again.
This will be from the right hash mark, a 32-yarder for John Kaye.
Come on, man! Do that right, man!
Snap is back, placed down, kick on the way, and it is good!
Leading once more. One more big play was needed and provided by the Seattle defense.
Play, Bono looking left, flares it out, got it to Dawson, lost the football, it's loose, the Seahawks are going to pick it up. Roger Blackman to the 20, to the 15, and pushed out of bounds. That'll do it. Now you can celebrate this one.
That was as gutsy a win as I've ever seen. A gutsy win. You guys were marvelous. I'm proud of you. Enjoy yourself. You deserve it. You deserve it.
2 straight come-from-behind victories lost all value the next week when an accident drastically changed the life of teammate Mike Fryer. The despair everyone in Seattle felt for Mike made it virtually impossible to prepare for a football game, and the Seahawks lost to the Colts. The following week in Houston, Rick Meyer, injured in the Colt game, was missing, so Seattle turned to the one man who could carry them.
It's to Warren around the left side, cuts back at the 35 to the 30, breaks a tackle, 20, 15, 10. Chris Warren is tripped up and knocked out of bounds, or was he? No, a touchdown.
Chris Warren turned in the best rushing performance in the AFC in 1994 by totaling 185 yards. The team had a league-best 266 yards rushing as the Seahawks beat the Oilers and earned their 6th and final win of the season. Chris Warren had plenty of reason to smile in 1994. The 5th-year running back played in the Pro Bowl, led the conference in rushing, and became just the 28th player ever to compile 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
McGuire gives to Warren, got a hole, 30, 25, Warren cuts it outside, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Chris Warren! Warren goes 33 yards as he cut it back from right to left, and they weren't going to get it. But Chris Warren does it again. He is the guy on this offense. There's no question about it. Put the weight of the team on his shoulders, and he's going to carry him.
And he has carried it in every way possible. This play made him the first Seahawks player ever to have a reception, run from scrimmage, punt, and kickoff return of over 50 yards. In addition to his team record 1,545 yards rushing, Warren added over 300 yards on receptions to lead the AFC in total yards and break Kurt Warner's team record. In 1994, Chris Warren finished second to Barry Sanders in average per carry and 100-yard performances. And he shares another important attribute with the Lions' great runner. He simply refuses to go down without a fight. Chris Warren was named the team's most valuable player in 1994. But he and every Seahawk realizes that while individual accomplishments are nice, they are the result of the efforts of every player on the team and are achieved because of a common goal: winning.
We do have to worry about winning, and we have to do the right things in the off season and on the field to win, and I expect that from them. In turn, they expect me to give them the best opportunity to win, and that's what it's all about. And we're going to do the best job we can coaching to give them the opportunity to win, and we expect the same thing from them as far as effort and what they need to do in order for us to get in the playoffs next year.